Today, I want to build more of a mid-range rig for compute and AI rentals. And you guys might have seen my channel lately. I built a budget rig for compute rentals that I put on Salad. I upgraded that rig with a 3090 Ti, and I cloned the drive onto a 1 terabyte drive so I could earn a little bit more. I just did that video. Now I want to do a mid-range build, but I want to try out Nosana. So I'm going to build this rig and I'm going to show you guys how to put it on Nosana. What I have here, some of it's bought off a Facebook Marketplace, some of it's stuff that I had from my GPU mining days, some of it I bought brand new off Amazon. But what I'll do is I'll leave links to everything that you see here from Amazon, and that way you can just buy this stuff if you want to, and you don't have to go hunting around for other parts. The only thing I might not recommend is this 1300 watt EVGA Gold series. That is like way more than you need. That's overkill, but I had this from my GPU mining days. So the best parts that you have sometimes are the parts that you already paid for. I don't want to have to go buy new stuff if I don't need to. Got the Thermalright Assassin 120. This is a single fan that should be enough for the CPU that I have. I've bought Peerless Assassins before if you want more serious cooling, but I don't think we need to do that. I've got an AMD Ryzen 7 5800X. This was a Facebook Marketplace find, good deal on that. I've got smart plugs I'm going to be using. I got 4 different ones. I want to monitor how much power these things are using, because the weird thing about compute rigs, they're going to run a job and then go idle, and then run a job and go idle. I want to know exactly how much power I'm using, because how am I supposed to know if I'm profitable if this thing's just running idle, not making me money? I want to know for sure. So these are like TP-Link smart plugs where I can monitor the power consumption on each rig. So there's 4 of them. Like I said, I'll leave those in the description. I've got 4 sticks of Corsair. This is 64 gigabytes of really good RAM. I bought this off Facebook Marketplace also, so that should be good. I'm hoping that eventually I can do more of an upscale build. So I did the budget build. This is going to be my mid-range build. I'm going to use the 3090 Ti, Asus Prime B550M. This is a good motherboard. The only thing I regret with this is it's 1 gig Ethernet card. I'm kind of thinking if I'm going to build a higher end build, I want the like 2.5 gig. I might be able to upgrade my fiber from 1 to 2 gig. I've got good fiber in this neighborhood, so I'm happy about that. And then below everything you see is the frame. I'll start by building the frame. We'll build this rig start to finish. After the physical build is done, we will learn how to upload Nosana. I want to optimize everything, so hopefully you guys like that kind of stuff. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go ahead and start building.
I like this frame. It's easy to work with. It's inexpensive. I think it's like $17 on Amazon. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description. All you do is mount 5 screws to the front, and you see the little 2 triangular pieces off to the side. We're going to mount those to the side where I am mounting the frame. You'll see it's very easy. And then once you're done screwing all these screws in, we will mount the motherboard to the frame. So I'm just going to go ahead and like kind of speed the footage up so you can move on to the next step quickly. You don't need to watch me screwing all of these screws in real time.
Okay, frame's built. Next we're going to install the motherboard. This is a B550M Asus. I like this motherboard. I've used it before. It's got AMD AM4 socket. The processor I have is 8 cores. This board motherboard's like around 90 something bucks on Amazon right now when I bought it. I think it's usually like $120, so I got a pretty good deal. So we'll go ahead and pop this out of here. Okay, next we're going to install the motherboard itself. So you've got to kind of line up all the holes where the standoffs need to go. So I usually just kind of take my motherboard and take a magic marker and just kind of like eyeball it, find out where all the holes on the motherboard are, and then mark with the magic marker as I'm going around. And then I install the standoffs. My budget rig build, I installed the standoffs with like a needle nose pliers, and someone made a comment. The motherboard comes with this little piece that you just very easily can screw the standoffs in with. I hope you can see it. There you go. See, that's it right there. So I felt like a dummy, but I mean, hey, I'm learning too. So if you guys have anything that you have to say to me, if I'm doing something wrong or if I'm doing something that you have a better way, I don't mind. I'd love for you guys to comment and let me know if there's a better way, because I want to learn and I can pass that knowledge on to somebody else. So anyway, let's go ahead and install all these standoffs, and then I will screw down the motherboard. I'll just speed through this so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me screw in all these screws. All right, this is the part that always makes me a little nervous. Look for the arrow on an AMD CPU. And then you need to line it up with the arrow on the motherboard itself. And make sure, open up your lock here and just make sure you're not sliding it around. You got to like install it straight down. So find your arrow on the CPU, find your arrow on the motherboard, and very gently set it in place. And then we lock it in and pray. And I pray a little harder too because I bought this off Facebook Marketplace. So we'll see. The guy said it was brand new, but I think I see some thermal paste on there. So we'll find out if this guy was a liar. Hopefully it works. Next, we'll go ahead and install the RAM. Now, this is really good RAM. I bought off Facebook Marketplace as well. Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro. So I don't care about RGBs on these rigs. Like, I don't really necessarily want RGB, but whatever. I guess it'll look kind of cool with it all lit up. So we're gonna install all 4 sticks. And if you guys have only 2, make sure you check on your motherboard to see which slots it goes in, because when you only have 2, sometimes it's staggered. Sometimes it'll be like the 1st and 3rd slot. And it just depends. So look at your motherboard's instructions. You can like download it off the interwebs if you need to. Mine came with the manual, but I don't really need it because I'm going to install all 4 sticks of RAM. So install your RAM. The other thing I like about the CPU cooler that I bought is it should be easier to clear this RAM. Like the other ones that I've used, like the RAM gets in the way and it's hard to install. But with this frame and this cooler and this whole setup, it should hopefully clear everything and we should be good to go. Next, let's install the CPU cooler. You're going to take these 4 screws out, remove these little plastic brackets. This CPU cooler comes with nice pre-labeled bags, AM4, AM5, so it'll tell you what bag to use. So red standoffs and screws. We're going to keep this back plate. So go ahead and put all 4 screws in and install these brackets. And that's where we're going to mount the CPU cooler to. We'll put some thermal paste on. All right, so make sure that you peel this sticker off. A lot of times they'll have a sticker on the CPU or they'll have a sticker on the cooler itself, so make sure you remove that. I like to install the screws and the brackets kind of loosely just to make sure that I've got everything lined up. Make sure that before I put the thermal paste on that everything lines up, because I've done it before where I've stuck the thermal paste on and then I had to realign things and it made a giant mess. So sometimes I'll just kind of do a dry run here, just very carefully, and everything's lining up good. Everybody's got their own way they want to put thermal paste on. I'm just gonna slap it on there, spread it thin. We'll do that and then we'll pop the CPU cooler back on. And I'm just gonna install the CPU cooler. And then I already looked up the fans. Make sure you guys double check on your motherboard, whichever one you're using, but the fans for the CPU, that's right here on this plug. I'll show you on the screen. I like this CPU cooler. I like how it doesn't get in the way of the RAM. Get the brackets installed, and then we will plug in fan to the fan header here. All right, let's get the power supply installed. It can kind of only go one way, so I'm going to put the intake fan facing towards the motherboard. You'll see if you had it flipped the other way, the switch and all that would get blocked by this metal bar here. So we'll just for now keep it out of the way. We're going to plug in our CPU power here. And like I said, this PSU is definitely overkill for a single GPU. Because I had it laying around from the GPU mining days, I definitely want to use it. It's a very nice power supply. I really do like this thing. Let me pop in these screws in the front. You'll see there's 2 screws to secure the power supply. and they line up perfectly. Like it's a very standard setup for mounting the power supply. So 2 screws right where the holes line up in the front, and then we will install the switch, the button to turn the machine on. I'll show you on the screen where it needs to be installed on the motherboard. Before I get too crazy pulling apart my working salad rig that has a job on it, I wanted to just test everything with my 512 gigabyte NVMe that you might have saw a video I did the other day. I cloned this drive onto a 1 terabyte drive. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up from that video is I was talking to people in the comment section, and they said I shouldn't try to use this drive on Salad going forward.
Sorry to interrupt your video, but a quick word from the sponsor of the video, Crypto Miner Bros. If you're looking for a trusted company to buy your mining equipment from, look no further than Crypto Miner Bros. They have all the best brands and all the latest models. They've got Bitmain, Canaan, AlphaHex, Gold Shell, Ice River. The list goes on. I just did a video the other day on the Gold Shell AE Max 2 Alio miner, so check that video out. This is a very profitable miner at the moment. Another one of my favorite miners is the AlphaPax DG Home 1. This miner has been a workhorse for me. It's like a tank. It just runs. I've never had any issues with it. If you're looking for a deal on any of these miners, don't forget you can use my official link that is in the description of the video and use discount code GREATER at checkout for $70 off each miner in your order. Don't forget to check out the offers section. They have the Canon Avalon Q on a flash sale, Volk Miner D1 Lite, Bitmain Antminer S21, and Bitmain Antminer L9. And like I said, don't forget to use the official link in the description of the video. Now let's get back to your video.
If you guys are cloning stuff, make sure that you just clone the operating systems. What I'm going to do going forward is format this drive, and then maybe I'll put like Windows on this, and then I can just clone larger like 2 terabyte drives or 1 terabyte drives for future rigs if I want to. It's so much easier to just straight up clone it, and then you can change your partitions and expand it if you get bigger storage and things like that, if you know what I mean. We're going to pop in the NVMe, and then we'll screw it down. The NVMe is installed. Let's pop the graphics card in. Okay. Plug in the power cables, VGA cables, and then I'm gonna go grab a monitor and we'll turn it on, and fingers crossed everything works. All right, moment of truth. Let's flick the power on the PSU on, and then hit the power button and see if it fires up. Keep in mind, if it doesn't, I bought some of these components off Facebook Marketplace, you know, the CPU, the RAM. This is a power supply I haven't used in a while, so we might have some troubleshooting to do, but hey, maybe it'll work right away. Say a prayer for me. 1, 2, 3, do it. Okay, well, all the RAM's lighting up. The GPU fans are spinning. Oh, yep, there we go. And then new CPU installed. Please enter setup to configure your system. All right, cool. So I'll go through the BIOS, check the settings. I'm excited. So far, so good. Hit F1 and enter the BIOS. Doesn't look like I really need to change anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit save and exit, and we'll hopefully get into Windows. Okay, so there we go. I looked in the BIOS, everything's showing up as it should. All the RAM, the graphics card, everything's looking good. So we're in Windows. This is my clone drive, like I said. I just wanted to make sure that everything worked before I took apart a perfectly good working salad rig. So I guess we're gonna go and sacrifice the 1 terabyte card out of that salad rig and the 3070. Maybe I'll just swap this back because that budget rig can't handle the 3090 Ti. Honestly, like it was fun tinkering with it. It was fun upgrading it a little bit, but I need more RAM to handle such a large GPU. The salad rig that I built, the budget rig, only has 32 gigabytes of RAM, and I can't upgrade it really much further than that. That's what the motherboard can handle. This motherboard can handle up to 128 gigabytes, but right now I only have 64 available. So we'll see how it goes with 64 available. We'll see how it goes with an 8-core CPU. We'll see how it goes with a 1 terabyte NVMe, and we'll see how it goes with the 3090 Ti. So let's go ahead and grab those other components. Now that I know this is all working, I should just be able to swap those things over real fast, and then we'll move on to checking out Nosana and seeing if we can get it loaded up on this rig and get it running. We have the 3090 Ti installed. We have the 1 terabyte NVMe installed. Everything booted up just fine. Fast forward a few days, and this rig has been running flawlessly. And I put it on Salad because that's what I had loaded up on that drive, and I haven't had a chance to convert to Nosana yet. But I wanted to show you guys, maybe this is a perfect comparison, because right now, of course, as soon as I'm going to flip it over to Nosana, the 3090 Ti is in moderate demand. So it's making an estimate of around 11 cents an hour. I've made $18.64 so far, and it's saying in the last 24 hours the estimate is $2.61 I've made. Pretty cool that I got to run it for a while as it is to see if we can compare it to Nosana. Now, in my Discord, one of my moderators, my administrator, CryptoKJ, he's been into Nosana, and he's kind of inspired me to go ahead and give it a shot, because it seems like the profitability numbers are better on Nosana right now than Salad, even with the moderate demand on the 3090 Ti. So I'm going to go ahead and hop in the computer. I want to show you guys the Nosana version of the Salad network monitor. We'll see what it's expecting to pay out
on Nosana's website, and I'll leave a link to this in the description so you guys can find it very easily. They have a drop-down menu so you can see how much you could earn with Nosana. So I'm going to drop down to the 3090 Ti. You guys can see they're looking for NVIDIA cards, and I will scroll through. You can see this is what they're looking for. So I have a 3090 Ti in this rig that we just built, and 744 hours, just so you guys know, that's 31 days, just FYI. So 31 days, they're saying I can make $129.83 per month. So 129.83 divided by 31, that is $4.18, almost 19 cents per day. So that is about, I would say, saying 17.5 cents per hour. So you guys saw on moderate demand for today on the 3090 Ti on Salad, it's saying around 11 cents an hour. And Nosana is saying for an average for a month, they're predicting it would be 17.5 cents per hour. So right now, that's what the deal is. And you guys know it can change every day. If you've been into this at all, you probably have seen high demand for different graphics cards on Salad, just depending on the day and the jobs that are available. So I want to try this out, though. I want to see how Nosana does. And now you guys see, you can check out your profitability on your own. Now let's take a look at the hardware requirements. We far exceed them. Minimum internet connection, 100 MBS download, 50 MBS upload. I've got 1 gig symmetrical right now, and I'm actually going to be upgrading to 2 gig symmetrical. A little update. While I've been shooting this video, it's been over a course of several days. I will be getting 2 gig internet and upgrading some of my network, so that's cool. So I'm definitely far exceed that. RAM, 64 gigs is what I have in the rig that I just built. 12 gigabytes plus is the hardware minimum. Storage, 256 gigabytes. We far exceed that. I've got a 1 terabyte drive. You guys already know. Let's click on this list. So there you go. You can screenshot that. These are the type of GPUs that they're looking for. Maybe this will change in the future. So if you guys are watching this and it's several months or a long time in the future, make sure you check Nosana's website. They might add graphics cards as time goes on. Now that you see how much you can stand to earn, I'm going to go ahead and use CryptoKJ's instructions. I'm going to try and follow those. So that way you guys know that you have a source for the instructions besides this video. The instructions are pinned in my Discord if you guys want to join. Like I said in the previous scene, it's free to join. Links in the description. Here we are in my Discord in the AI and machine learning section, and specifically in the Nosana section. And I want to say thank you to Crypto KJ for creating this whole setup for me and doing this instructional. I really appreciate it. So let's go through the instructions. Installing a fresh Nosana host on Linux, easy mode. Download Ubuntu desktop, and he's even included the link here. Couldn't be any easier than that. So I'm going to click on the link. And it does take a few minutes to download. I've got like 1 gig fiber. Like I said, I'm going to be upgrading to 2 gig fiber, but it still takes a little while to download that. So we'll move on to Balena Etcher. I already have this program, but thanks again, Crypto KJ, for just including the link. You just click on that link, and then you're going to download a program called Balena Etcher. If you haven't used this before, this is a very easy way to flash bootable media. So I'll go ahead and open Balena Etcher, even though the program hasn't finished, so I can just show you like before the program finishes downloading. So very easy. We're going to hit flash from file, and then you're going to pick wherever the file downloads to. And then you're going to click select target. You're going to insert a USB drive, and I've got like a 32 gigabyte drive that should be good enough. I'll leave links to the stuff I'm using in the description if you want to just buy what I'm using, because I know it'll work. And then after you select the USB drive you want to flash it to, you just hit flash. All right, flash from file. We're going to the download folder, and I've done this before, as you can see. So I'm going to download this to the USB drive, select target, and it's hiding my main drive so we don't wipe out our drives. So forewarning, be very careful when you guys are doing any of the stuff that I'm showing in this video. You can damage your computer, you can wipe out drives, and I'm not responsible if you guys do that. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. So in this case, this is the drive we want to pick. It's my USB drive that I just showed you. And then we're going to hit select one, and then we're going to hit flash. And we're going to allow Windows command processor to do what it needs to do. So we'll give that a few minutes. We'll go ahead and let that file transfer over to the USB. And then once it's done, we'll eject the USB from the computer. Balena Etcher is telling me the flash is completed successfully. And now we're going to go ahead and eject it from the computer. Eject USB 2.0. And then we will pull that out. We will pop it into our AI rig, and then we will get into the BIOS by hitting whatever BIOS key is set up for your motherboard. Sometimes it's delete, sometimes it's one of the F keys. So find out what key you need to spam while you power on your computer to get into the BIOS. Then we need to select boot from USB drive. So I'll show you guys how I'm doing it with the motherboard I have built into this computer. But make sure you're checking your motherboard if you're doing this on a different motherboard, different type of computer. Okay, let's pop our bootable drive in, and then we will spam, I believe it's the delete key on this motherboard. So let's power it on and spam the delete key. Should get us into the BIOS. Yep, there we go. Okay, good. It was the delete key. So, like I said, just check and see what your motherboard calls for as far as getting into the BIOS. So now we're going to toggle over and go to boot. And then we're going to boot with the PNY USB. There we go. Okay. So we want boot option number 1 to be that USB drive that we just copied Ubuntu onto. So now that you've got it set to be your boot option number 1, click over to save and exit, hit yes. Okay, and it says try or install Ubuntu. Let's hit enter, and it should install Ubuntu for us. So I'll give it a minute to do its thing, and I'll get back with you guys. There we go, it's working. Just go ahead and follow the prompts that you're seeing on the screen. And by the way, this is my budget AI compute rig with the 3070 installed. So I'm going to go ahead and install it on both rigs. The process will be the same whether you're on my big 3090 Ti rig that we just did or this 3070 rig. So I will go through the process on both rigs, but I'll only show you how to set up one.
because it'll be the same on each rig. All right, so after going through all the prompts, I went ahead and installed Discord on this rig. And that way I can just copy the commands that CryptoKJ provided. And I'm just gonna copy them into like a note app and a text editor. So you can just open this, search text editor, and then paste the pinned message in here, and you're gonna have to clean it up and just make it where it's just this command. So we're gonna copy this command, and then we're gonna open terminal. So you can just go to that little icon up on the top left, type in terminal, and then open terminal. Then we're gonna go ahead and paste it in. And then he said he uses Google, so I'm gonna go ahead and probably just use Google. I need to punch in my password, but basically you're just gonna set your DNS server on your host. And then once I punch in my password, I'll choose option 1 Google. I'll just kind of follow along with what CryptoKJ is doing. Okay, I got my password punched in, so I'm gonna hit number 1 for Google. Oh, you know what? Number lock's not on. It's the little things. So number lock wasn't on my keyboard. That's why that weird command showed up. So, all right, let's try it again. Number 1, there we go. Hit enter. We'll let Google do its magic. All right, so I wish Discord would just let you copy one line of text, but whatever, it's probably gonna copy the entire message again. So copy the Nosana host installer into your text editor, and it'll probably paste the entire thing in there. And yes, of course, there you go, there it did. I wish it would just let you copy line by line. So now we need to clean it up and just grab Nosana host installer. So here it is right here. We're gonna go ahead and just copy without the quotation marks. It's like their GitHub link and everything. Copy. We copied the Nosana host installer out of the text editor, pasted it in, and asked for password to run the command. So let's hit enter, and hopefully it just does it. Yes, there we go. Okay, so prepare for a password prompt. There we go. It's running. We'll let that run through, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, the machine went through its install process and rebooted itself. So I'm back in Discord. I don't have a existing private key. That's if you want to duplicate rigs. So I'm gonna go ahead to step 7. I'm gonna go back into the terminal, copy and paste this command in there, and start the host. And since this is a new install and the wallet is generated, I'm gonna have to add 0.03 Solana to that wallet. It'll register the host and leave plenty of Solana to run the host for weeks, because you get paid out in NOS. And apparently CryptoKJ says leaving Sol in the wallet is important. It's required for many micropayment transactions of NOS, which is earned when jobs complete. So I'm gonna run this command, and then I'm going to send Solana to this address that's created. I'm gonna send it straight from my Tangent wallet. If you guys are looking for a Tangent wallet, right now they're doing a Labor Day sale. It's between September 1st and September 7th or 8th, I believe. You can use my discount code Greater Good and the discount code Labor Day, both at the same time, for 20% off of a Tangent wallet. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. That's where I keep my Solana. So I'm gonna send some Solana to this wallet from my Tangent wallet so we can get this rig running. Let's go ahead and get this command punched in. I'm gonna have to enter my password probably. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna grab my Tangent wallet, get the Solana sent to the wallet that it creates here. Looks like everything's successfully installed. I just wanted to show you guys real quick what it is showing on the screen. It's saying Sol balance 0. Should be 0.005 or higher. Send some Solana to your node address, which I covered with a very high-tech piece of tape because I don't really want anybody knowing my Solana address and stuff like that. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to send Solana to this address that's showing up on the screen, and then this node, this AI compute rig, should start running Nosana and collecting me some crypto. I sent the Solana to the address, and pretty much instantly it asked me for my email address. So it said provider is healthy, node is unregistered, registering node, and it asked me for my email address. So I'm gonna punch in the email address I wanna use for this account, and then we'll move on. I jumped through a few more hoops. It was asking for email and your Discord and your X.
Once you get through allowing it to have access to whatever accounts you want it to have access to, it will start running. But now we need to connect our Solana wallet because that's how we're going to get paid out in the Nosana token.
To get paid out, I'm going to connect my Soulflare wallet to my Nosana rig, and you will need your private key. I'm going to show on the screen real quick the command that you can punch in when you're in a terminal, and it will give you your private key. You need to copy all those numbers, including the brackets, and then we're going to go ahead and create a new wallet in Soulflare. So I'm going to show you real quick. You can just go to add wallet and import private key, not anything else. You know, we're not trying to import a wallet. We're going to import a private key. Just name it whatever you want, and then you're going to paste that private key there. It's going to be brackets with a ton of numbers. Then you're going to hit import, and it will create a new wallet for you, and you'll see it show up in your Soulflare account. So I've got like a main wallet, and I've got my Nosana budget wallet, build wallet, and I'm going to do the same thing on the 3090 Ti rig. So I just wanted to show you guys how to do that. Right now it's showing I got like $5 in there. I sent that money to the rig so I could get it started. So I'm going to let this run for a little while and just see how it goes.
Everything seems to be running smooth so far. I've got 2 cents worth of Nosana since just kind of been shooting the video and playing with these rigs for a little while. So it's already starting to stack some Nosana in my Soulflare wallet. So I do like this. I like stacking crypto. I like that I can just swap this in Soulflare over to Solana, and then I can easily sell it on any exchange. Solana is on every exchange. You don't have to go hunting around for weird dexes to try and swap this out and sell it. So that's what I like about this. I'm hoping it will be as profitable as it shows in that dashboard. I'm hoping that if I can run for long enough and prove myself, I'll get upgraded to the premium and get the best out of these rigs. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. I really put a lot of effort into trying to make it start to finish where anybody could really do this if they follow the steps. It does get a little tricky sometimes. So if you need help, get in the Discord. The link to my Discord is in the description. Also, Nosana's Discord is very helpful. There's tons of valuable information there. Follow me on X. I post all kinds of news information very quickly on X. Sometimes I get the news out for things faster on X than I can really for YouTube. It takes a longer time to do these YouTube videos. So anyway, I hope it was helpful. Hit the like button if it was. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see me do more stuff like this with rig builds, trying out these different compute rental platforms. I'm going to be doing this for a while now. So follow along if you want to see how I'm doing with it, what I got going on, and maybe learn how to do it yourself.
The great or good.